Listen to me. In yesterday's class, we have seen the Rankine cycle, and also we have seen the how we are representing the basic components of a steam power cycle in a TS diagram of a Rankine cycle. And according to the yesterday's class, we have seen that the 122 is the process of 122 is a it's a process of a boiler. It's a process of constant volume heat addition 122. That is nothing but we are calling it as a warming process. This is called as a warming process. We used to say technically it as a warming process. There, I'm just highlighting where it is. See, this is in the TS diagram. The 1 to 2 process is called as a 1 to 2 process is called as a warming process. Okay. So just next go to the 2 to 3 process. This is where I am highlighting with the green one. So this is a boiler heat addition, or nothing but we are calling it as a evaporation process of a water into steam, and nothing but technically we are calling it as a isothermal expansion. Isothermal expansion means we are increasing the volume of water into the steam. This is according to the yesterday's class. And when you come for the 3 to 4, this is a 3 to 4 where we are having 3 to 4 here. This 3 to 4 is a this 3 to 4 is isentropic expansion which is taking in place of turbine. See, this is 3 to 4, this is 2 to 3, and this is 1 to 2. And next when you come to 4 to 1, this is a 4 to 1 process. This 4 to 1 is condenser process. That is nothing but a condensation. We are converting steam into water, and we are when you converting steam into water, the higher volume of steam will be converted into lower volume of water, so that if you decrease the volume, that is said to be compression, wherever it is. Either it may be condensation process, either it may be any process of thermodynamics. If you decreasing the volume, that is said to be compression. Either we can see in a air compressor also. What air compressor will do? It will decrease the volume of the air by ramming process of ramming process of a piston, and it will increase the pressure. So that is also called as a compression. So here what we are doing in the condensation we are converting steam into water, and when you are converting steam into water, the higher volume of steam will be converted into lower volume of water. So that is said to be compression, and entire process will done on this entire process will be done by keeping the temperature constant, so that it's said to be technically isothermal compression. This is the class we have seen, what we have seen in yesterday. And one more thing, guys, I would like to request one thing here. See, you don't fix these numbers. See, what are the numbers we are getting here? See, for example, if you're getting this number here, this 2, 3, 1. What is according to this diagram? The number 2 is the before boiler. According to this diagram, number 3 is after boiler. What I'm saying here, and all the times you don't get these numbers like this only. This is not a fixed one. The point 2 is always before the boiler. For example, if examiner gives here it is a 4, here it is a 3, then you have to change your formula. So that what I would like to do here, I will give you one customized diagram of our class, now how to find out the efficiencies, and how to find out the work done and heat rejected in the cycle, irrespective of the numbers. Why? Because you don't fix for these numbers. What are you getting in the diagram? Okay, now actually you just draw the diagram, and according to the diagram, on your own wish, you give the numbers, and according to that numbers only you find out the work done and heat rejected and efficiencies. And sometimes if examiner gives, so you go according to that numbers. What I'm saying here is, you don't buy hard the things. You don't, for example, according to this diagram, if you would like to get the turbine work done here, WT here, the WT will be according to this diagram H3 minus H4 here. Why? Because before the turbine is 3, after the turbine is 4. So you would like to get the work done here, WT will be H3 minus H4. For example, if examiner gives this point as a 2, this point as a 3, then what is the work done after by? Hello guys? Hello? Hello, anybody can answer? Hello?
It's 2 minus H3.
So when examiner gives before the turbine is 2, after the turbine is 3, then ultimately we need to change our formula, right or not? We need to write it as H2 minus H3. So that what my request here, you don't fix to the numbers. You don't fix to the number. You just analyze the diagram. You just observe the diagram. How we need to write the formulas according to the diagram. That you have to know. That you have to learn. so that I'll make you educate on that particular process in this class. So I'll go for one blank slide here. It will not work because it is already it is designated with the numbers, no? So you just leave it. Okay, we will go for the empty slide. In the empty slide, we'll draw the diagram, and according to that only we go for the calculation. So for example, if you say you draw one diagram first, okay, on behalf of you, I'm drawing one diagram here. That is, for example, you select the color. Okay, listen here. Just you, for example, you consider it as a boiler. It's a simple line diagram, na? Nothing else. Now this is a turbine. Now this will be the pump which you used to, and this will be the hot well, and from there will be the condenser, and this will be connected in this manner. So these are the typical components of a steam power cycle. One is boiler, turbine, condenser, hot well. This is hot well, HW. Hot well is nothing but it is a compound. It is a device which is used to store the condensate water which is coming out of a condenser. Okay, this is the pump. P is called what? Pump. So now, according to this diagram, I'm giving the designations here. You just assume this has a point 1, this has a point 1, and this has a point 2, and this has a point 3, and this has a point 4. Okay, after the condenser. Now, what are the points here? 1 is before the boiler, 1 is before the boiler, 2 is before the turbine, 3 is before the condenser or after the turbine, and 4 is after the condenser or before the boiler. So here, listen to me, guys. Here, according to these designations, I would like to draw the TS diagram. So I'm going for the TS diagram here. In this corner, I will draw it. So I'll draw the TS diagram here. According to these designations only. Now TS diagram will be like this. What is 122 process? 122, according to the diagram, 122 is isothermal expansion. It is iso expansion. 122. 122 is nothing but isothermal expansion. Temperature should be constant. Next, according to the diagram, 223 will be constant entropy expansion. This is entropy expansion. Next, 3 to 4 is nothing but it is isothermal compression. Now this will be constant volume heat addition. 4 will be constant volume heat addition. So this is according to this particular diagram. This TS diagram indicates exactly this particular layout. Now here, according to these one, we would like to go for the calculations here. Now first you just take a look on this. Here 1 to 2 process is isothermal expansion, nothing but we are converting water into steam. And 2 to 3 is isentropic expansion, we are taking the work done. And 3 to 4 is isothermal compression, that means we are converting steam into water. And 4 to 1 is called as a warming process. Warming process means if there any unsaturated water after the condenser, we are making it as a saturated. That's all. We are making it as a saturated. So that is nothing but warming process. 4 to 1 is called as a warming process. Okay. Now you just write down the formulas here. Now you just listen to me. Now what is a heated point 1 before the boiler? Heated point 1 is nothing but HF1. Only HF1 will be there at H1 level. H1 is called what? HF1. Why? Because it is before the boiler. Up to this, we are not adding the latent heat and we are not converting into the water. This H1 will be what? HF1. And after the boiler, H2 will be what? It is already added with the latent heat. So it will be like H2 is equal to HF2 plus HFG2. It is dry steam, so that there is no matter of X here. Simply we are writing H2 is equal to HF2 plus HFG2. Now after the turbine, after the turbine, the steam becomes wet steam. The steam becomes wet steam, so that H3 will be what? H3 is equal to HF3, HF3 plus X3 into HFG3. This is the formula of X3 after the turbine. Now, next, you just listen to me. Now you listen to me. What is the next one? The next one is after the condenser. Next one is after the condenser. After the condenser, what is the heat? That is H4. Now you see after the condenser, H4 is equal to what? It is simply HF4. Why? Because we are removing the latent heat in the condenser and we are converting steam into water here. We are converting steam into water here. And after that,
Sir, once repeat the heat notations.
hello? Yeah.
Sir, once repeat the heat notations.
Heat?
ఇవి ఇక్కడ 1 నుంచి రిపీట్ చేయండి సార్ ఒకసారి హీట్
ఒకసారి మళ్ళా
HS1 హీట్
one నుంచి repeat చేయాలి. Okay, right. Listen to me, guys. See, before the boiler is 0.1, right? Before the boiler is 0.1. What is the condition of the boiler before the boiler? That is saturated water. That is what? Saturated water. It is not steam. Saturated water. So it is only having the sensible heat. What is the indication of sensible heat? That is HF. That is HF. So that we are at 0.1. So that we are writing at HF1. We are writing it as what? HF1. Now H1 will be what? HF1. Next, 0.2 is what? After the boiler. After the boiler, what you are doing in the boiler? We are what is the 1 to 2 process? Conversion of water into steam. So after the boiler, position of the medium is steam. Steam means it is completely dry steam. It is having the latent heat along with the sensible heat. When it is a steam, when it will convert as a steam, when you able to supply the latent heat, when you supply the latent heat only, it will convert as a steam. So that if it is steam means definitely it is having sensible heat plus latent heat. Now after the boiler, usually it is a dry steam. So the formula of dry steam at 0.2 is H2 is equal to HF2 plus HFG2. H2 is equal to HF2 plus HFG2. Next, you come to the 0.3. What is 0.3? It is after the boiler, after the turbine, sir, after the turbine. After the turbine, what is happening? What is the 2 to 3 process? It is isentropic expansion. In the turbine, isentropic expansion is happening. That means expansion means some of the heat is converted into water. So steam will become wet steam. Steam will become wet steam. What is the wet steam formula? That is H is equal to HF plus X into HFG. Here it is 0.3. So that we are writing H3 is equal to HF3 plus X3 and HFG3. This is after the turbine. Now with this steam, with this heat, steam will go to the condenser. In the condenser, we are removing the latent heat. Only sensible heat will be there. What is the sensible heat? 0.4. H4 is equal to HF4. H4 is equal to HF4. Do you got this thing? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, na? Now now we need to take some conditions here for this. See, now what is 1 to 2? 1 to 2 is isothermal expansion. 1 to 2 is what? 1 to 2 is isothermal expansion. 1 to 2 is isothermal expansion. Isothermal expansion. So that T1 is equal to T2. These are the conditions we should know. T1 is equal to T2 and P1 is equal to, yesterday I said that the expansion process also, the conversion process also constant pressure process. So that in the 1 to 2, T1 is equal to T2 and P1 is equal to P2. Now in the 1 to 2, we would like to know one thing here. What we are doing in the 1 to 2? What we are doing in the 1 to 2? Just tell me, guys, what we are doing in 1 to 2?
Applying the heat.
What heat you are supplying? See, before the boiler is saturated water. From the saturated water to we are converting into saturated steam. In order to convert saturated water into saturated steam, what we have to add? Just we have to add latent heat. Only latent heat. Latent heat means what? This is only nothing. This is only. Okay? You getting my point? The HFG2 is only latent heat. So that there is no change in HF1 and HF2. We are not touching the sensible heat. We are not at all touching the sensible heat. That means we are not removing the sensible heat. We are not adding the sensible heat. Simply what you are doing, for the existed sensible heat, we are adding the latent heat. So that definitely HF1 is equal to HF2. You convinced this with people? Hello? Hello, guys. Hello, guys.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
convinced
sir.
this one. Why? Because we are not touching the sensible heat. We are not touching the sensible heat. Here for the sensible heat, only numbers has changed. H1, HF1 becomes HF2, but amount will be same. For example, if HF1 is 100 kilojoules, HF2 also 100 kilojoules. Why we are writing HF1 means it is at 0.2, so that we are writing it as HF1. It is at 0.2, so that we are writing it as HF2. But this amount will be same, so that as per the magnitude, we can write HF1 is equal to HF2. This is about to process 1 to 2. Now you come for the process 2 to 3. What is process 2 to 3? What is process 2 to 3? The process 2 to 3 is isentropic expansion. Isentropic expansion. Here we have to take one more thing here. The thing is that we can take S2 is equal to S3. Entropy will be constant, na? So we are writing S2 is equal to S3. This is about 2 to 3. Next you come for 3 to 4. Next you come for what? 3 to 4. What is 3 to 4? 3 to 4 is, what is 3 to 4 in the diagram? 3 to 4 is isothermal compression. It is again what? Isothermal compression. In the isothermal compression, what is happening here? What are the conditions we can take? Isothermal means temperature is constant, so that T3 is equal to T4, and same way P3 is equal to P4. I said that the conversion process are at a constant pressure only. And here one more thing we can write here. From the point 3 to point 4, we are not touching the sensible heat. Only we are removing what? Latent heat. In the condenser, what you are doing? You are just only removing what? Latent heat. We are not going to touch the sensible heat. So according to that theory, for the 3 to 4, we can write HF3 is equal to HF4. Are you convinced, boys? This one? Hello? Hello?
Sir.
Do you get any doubt logically? And మీకు ఏమన్నా అంటే illogical అనిపించింది ఎక్కడన్నా ఒకసారి చూసుకోండి, క్రాస్ చెక్ చేసుకోండి. Just you cross check. What are the conditions we wrote here? 1 to 2 set to be isothermal, so that we are writing T1 is equal to T2. We know that conversion process is constant to that, so we are writing T1 is equal to T2. And in the 1 to 2, we are not going to touch sensible heat, so that we are writing H1 is equal to HF2. When you come to 2 to 3, it is isentropic process. That means entropy will be constant, so that we are writing H2 is equal to S3. And when you come for 3 to 4, it is said to be isothermal compression. Isothermal means T3 is equal to T4. And we know that conversion process will be constant pressure, so that we are writing P3 is equal to P4. And in the conversion of steam into water, we are not going to touch the sensible heat. Only we are simply removing the latent heat, so that HF3 is equal to HF4. As by the magnitude, HF3 will be HF4. Okay, now these are the conditions. If you have any doubts, please guys ask me.
Sir, here HF2 equal to HF3 is possible?
HF2 is equal to HF3. It is also
HF3.
possible. Okay, we can write. Why? Because we are not going to touch the sensible heat here. Okay, now when you when work is going, only some amount of latent heat will be converted into work. When it is being steam means definitely there will be a latent heat. When there is a latent heat, there is no loss of sensible heat. When sensible will last, according to your knowledge, when latent heat is completely over, when latent heat is completely becomes zero, then there is a loss of sensible heat. If there is sum of latent heat means there is no loss of sensible heat. So according to your, we can write here HF2 also HF3. There is no man. We can write. But we can definitely see. మనకు కొంచెం లాటెంట్ హీట్ ఉన్న దాని అర్థమైందిరా, సెన్సిబుల్ హీట్ మనం టచ్ చేయలేదని అర్థం. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఆఫ్టర్ టర్బైన్ స్టీమ్ లాగా ఉందా, వాటర్ లాగా ఉందా? హలో హలో,
It is going to convert water.
ఆఫ్టర్ టర్బైన్
Steam and water combination.
అంటే వెట్ స్టీమ్. వెట్ స్టీమ్ మీన్స్ ఎంతో కొంత నీ దగ్గర అక్కడ లాటెంట్ హీట్ ఉన్నట్టు కదా.
Yes.
80%, 70%, 60% లాటెంట్ హీట్ అయితే ఉంది కదా వెట్ స్టీమ్ అంటే. సో దట్ వెట్ స్టీమ్
Yes, sir.
లాటెంట్ హీట్ ఉందంటే మనం సెన్సిబుల్ హీట్ టచ్ చేయలేదని అర్థం. When we lost the sensible heat after the completion of total latent heat only, loss of sensible heat will occurs. If there is sum of the latent heat means there is no loss of sensible heat, so that we can write HF2 is equal to HF3 also. Okay, when the time comes, We can definitely write, no problem at all. Okay, అర్థమైందా? ఎవరు అడిగారు డౌట్? Who is the fellow raising this particular one? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
అంతే రాయొచ్చురా, no problem, you can write it. Okay, now you convinced with these conditions. Hello guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now then we'll move for the efficiency of a Rankine cycle. If you convince with these conditions, we are going to use these conditions in the Rankine cycle efficiency derivation. So that is the reason I'm asking many times. If you have any doubts, you just ask me here only. If it is cleared here, it will be better in the efficiency derivation. Okay.
Sir, here from 4 to 1, here.
That is warming process, right? 4 to 1 is warming process. Warming
Sir,
process.
From sir, after condensation, the sensible heat will be there.
Only HF4 will be here, but sometimes what happens? Actually, we are supposed to touch only latent heat. Actually, we are supposed to remove only latent heat in the condenser, but sometimes practically we can't control over the things there. Okay. So when a steam power cycle is running, we are not going to there and we are not going to control manually. It is happening automatically. Sometimes what happens? There may be some losses of HF sensible heat also. So that we are checking that if there is any unsaturated water, we are making it as saturated. That's all. In the 4 to 1, it is called sensible warming process. Sensible warming process means we'll check the saturation level of the water. If the water is unsaturated, simply we'll simply saturate from 4 to 1. This is a 4 to 1 is warming process. 4 to 1 is a warming process. That's all. It is simple warming process. If sometimes it loses sensible heat, we'll just add that sensible heat in 4 to 1 process. Why? Because exactly before the boiler, the water should be at saturated level. That is our condition. What is our condition? Before the boiler, water should be saturated. So if there is any lack of saturation after the condenser, that should be taken care by the warming process. What is the objective of warming process? Pani warming process pani. After the condenser, if water is saturated, it has to make it saturated. After the condenser, if water is unsaturated, it has to make it saturated. That is the work of warming process. Are you good? Do you got this thing? Hello?
Sir, H2 kada akada boiler nunchi వచ్చే steam wet steam or dry steam sir?
Dry steam. It is definitely dry and very very dry steam. Not only dry steam, it is superheated steam.
Sir, enthalpy of fluid తీసుకుంటారు కదా సార్ మరి అక్కడ HF2 plus HFG2.
అదే డ్రై స్టీమ్ ఫార్ములా ఏంటి మొన్న నేను చెప్పినా కదా. వాట్ ఇస్ డ్రై స్టీమ్ ఫార్ములా? What is the dry steam formula? We have in the formulas, na? Dry and wet steam.
Yes,
what is dry steam formula? See, we have general formula. See, I am writing here. See, listen. Dry steam formula is when steam is said to be dry, we are taking it as gas. That means we are writing it as HT, and for that formula will be HF plus HFG2, that's all. So after the boiler, definitely steam is dry. Definitely steam is dry. So that we are writing HF plus HFG2. Sorry, this two, it is in the general formula, we are not giving the notations. This is general formula. Hg is equal to HF plus HFG. So your point is 2 now, so that we are writing H2 is equal to HF2 plus HFG2. Definitely after the boiler, steam will be in dry position only. Steam will be in dry position only. When it is coming after the turbine, it becomes wet steam. So that we are writing with what is the general wet steam formula? What is general wet steam
HF
formula?
plus HFG.
We are not writing it as a HG. It is simple H only. We are not writing it as HG. It is simple H only. So that what is the wet steam formula? HF plus
HF plus X into
HFG. So that is the reason at point 3 it is wet steam. So that is the reason we are writing H3 as HF3 into X3 and HFG3. So in the condenser we are removing this particular point.
Sir, what is the condition?
What is that?
Sir, what is the condition of superheated steam, sir?
Superheated steam. For that you have to change the formula again. For example, if it is superheated steam, again you have to change the formula. H is equal to HF plus HFG plus H superheat.
Okay, sir.
H superheat. How you are calculating H superheat? There is one process here. See, H superheat is equal to H super is equal to simple. It is mass of steam and Cp of steam, Cps, mass of steam into Cp of steam into temperature difference between the temperature of superheat minus temperature of saturated. This is the formula for H superheat. Why you are writing temperature of superheated minus temperature of saturated? When you are doing the superheating, after the saturation temperature only we are doing superheating. So that what is the temperature difference between the saturation point to superheating point, that will be reflected here. Hello?
Yes, sir.
అంటే మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం సూపర్హీటింగ్ లో చెప్పండి. జస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ మనం బాయిలర్ లో ఇన్ ద బాయిలర్ ఫస్ట్ వీఆర్ కన్వర్టింగ్ saturated water into saturated steam. After the saturated steam, again you are going to increase the temperature of the steam. Into superheated level. So what is the temperature difference we are getting from saturated to superheated? For example, if saturation temperature is some 150 degrees, superheated up to 300 degrees. Now what is the temperature difference we brought after the saturation level? That is 150. So we are writing 300 minus 150. So 150. If Cp of steam is some 2, and if the mass of the steam is some 200 kgs, now this will be the superheat. 200 into 2, 400. 400 into 150. How much? This 0 will be there, and 60. One more 0 will be happens, and it is 6 lakhs. I think 60. This 3 zeros, and this is 1 0 and 6. 60,000. 60,000 kilojoules. So this is a superheating amount, and this should be added here. We have to add the sensible heat, we have to add the latent heat, and along with the latent heat we have to add the superheat also. This is the way to write down the heat function. అరే ఒకటే సింపుల్ రా, ఇది మీకు అర్థమైంది అంటే టోటల్ సబ్జెక్ట్ ని మీరు కుమ్మేశారు.
ఇక్కడ సిపిఎస్ అంటే
సిపి అంటే స్పెసిఫిక్ హీట్ రా. What is Cp? Specific heat. For example, in order to increase 1 degree of temperature, what is the heat we require? That is specific heat. So how many degrees we are increasing here? 150 degrees. So 150 into that specific heat. Specific heat means that is the heat which is required to increase 1 degree of temperature for steam. That is 2 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. This will be in this manner. Cp of steam is equal to 2 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. That means what? In order to increase 1 degree Kelvin for 1 kg of steam, we require 2 kilojoules of heat. So here how many degrees you are increasing? 150. So that 150 into 2. For 1 degree, it is 2. For 150 degrees, it is 150 into 2. How many kgs? 200. So in this way, we are going to calculate. CPS means specific heat of steam. Already we have seen in the formula of Q. What is Q? Heat. MCP dt. Heat added is equal to what? MCP dt. M means what? Mass of fluid. CP means CP, specific heat of fluid. And what is the temperature difference we brought? That is. In similar way only we are calculating MCP dt. That's all. Here M is 200. What is CP? CP is specific heat of steam. Why you are taking specific heat of steam? Why? Because we are eating steam only, na? So that we are taking specific heat of steam. Okay, do you got, guys? Hello?
yes sir.
Okay, now. And you do one thing, na? Definitely I will send this link here, and you take these conditions and notes. Na? ఇది మీరు తీసుకుంటే నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ లో మనం యాక్చువల్లీ ఐ సపోజ్ టు do the derivation in this class only, but it took very long time to conditions. For the conditions only it took the long time. Okay? So that I'm unable to complete this one. So that in the next day and then in the tomorrow's class I will go for the derivation. So before that you just do one thing. You just take these notes and you go thoroughly. ఓకే, మీరు కొంచెం చూడండి నోట్స్. జస్ట్ ఐఎమ్ క్లోజింగ్ ద క్లాస్ హియర్. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ లిజనింగ్. హలో గైస్.
Okay, sir. Thank you.